Hello everyone and welcome back to the iHearthU.com King of the Hill. I am Artosis and once again finally joined by Doa.
I'm back from California, happy to cast some Hearthstone again. And we have had some interesting developments while I've been gone. Razor, a two-time champion here on King of the Hill.
Yeah, he's only the third person after Savitz with his 4 wins and Reels with his 3 to have more than one win here in the King of the Hill. So people are starting to get a little bit more consistent. And I gotta say, Doa, I really do like the deck choices that Razor always has.
Yeah, he plays, it's kind of standard, but it's very, very intelligent the way he plays. And I think that's what's really going to get you multiple wins, is good, solid consistency. Nothing super fancy or like way out there, it's just good.
That's right. I mean, he's used plenty of Hunter, plenty of Murlocs. He'll just choose decks that he thinks wins. And
yep, Hunter Murloc, you don't get much more consistent as far as wins go for that.
I like it, and I'm wondering how far he can get in this King of the Hill. How many wins can he get? Maybe just randomly he's going to pop up. You know, no one really knew who Savitz was before he got 4 wins in a row here. Maybe Razor makes a giant name for himself as well. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be an interesting opponent for him today because we've got Alchemixt in the mix, I guess you could say. Now, he is one of the players from Don't Kick My Robot that they're partnered with Blizz Pro. They also do the meta report for us on iHearthU as well. And they have a lot of experience. They're a team that's actually been around for a while longer than people really expect, and they've got some really strong players. Alchemix recently was streaming himself getting to Legendary on a new account in 2 days. So this guy knows how to win efficiently. And but conversely, he's playing Priest, which is very interesting. But I'm happy to see Priest. But what do you think about this one? I don't really like Priest that much. You're a big Priest fan.
I am.
What do you think of this deck?
I think it's really good. It's very similar to the Era Priest deck or a Duckwing Face Priest deck, and of course those two of the very best Priest players in the world. And I played with lists very, very close to this one, and I have to say I think it's actually very powerful. Every now and then you just kind of don't have the early game in control and you lose, but you get up to about turn 6 and you're in good shape because you have those Cabals to really swing in your favor. You've got those Holy Fires which are really going to remove a lot, and of course you've got some really cheap removal in Shadow or Death at the late game. So, I mean, the deck has insane card draw engines. When you have a Northshire Cleric, a Wild Pyromancer, and a Circle of Healing, you basically you draw so many cards it's broken.
Yeah.
But I think it's a strong deck. I think it's a good deck. It's just, it matters how well it starts because sometimes your opponent just gets like too many minions out with 4 attack and then you die.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I feel like it's a good matchup against this Druid deck coming up from Razor, just because Druids do have kind of a little bit slower start sometime. And this is kind of a cool Druid deck. It's sort of like the Neo-style Druid where it's much more token-based than we've seen in the past. And so it's going to be a little bit more in your face than the typical Druid, but it's still going to have a little bit of a slower start. So I feel like Alchemix is going to be okay in game number 1.
Yeah, we'll see about this. This Druid deck, like, for me, it's one of the most feared decks overall. We've been calling it in Doggy House Token Druid because it makes so many tokens with these Violet Teachers, and it basically just has minions that stick to the board like Argent Squire, Harvest Golem, etc.
Yeah.
And the amount it buffs them and how crazy it is. Look at this version: 2 Force of Nature and of course 2 Savage Roars. So, I mean, you just keep a couple minions on that board and then suddenly, bam, you've got just a ridiculous amount of damage coming in.
Yeah, it's like Hunter has Unleash the Hounds and Druid has like Unleash the Bear Army or something basically. So it does get big, it does get really buffed. I think it's a very cool style because I feel like it sort of takes the feeling of Druid from World of Warcraft and all the buffing and changing and all that, and it puts it in the game. So it's like Druid as it's meant to be played, I think.
Indeed. Well, we'll see how well this kind of combo-ish deck does. The thing is, it doesn't really rely on a combo. It is a very solid deck. But going up against Priest, I think I personally give the edge to the Druid deck, just because I know it's raw power, but that Priest deck definitely is capable of beating anything.
Alright, let's be honest. I think you always have to give the edge to the deck that's not Priest in Hearthstone. We gotta be honest there.
Fair enough.
But I think Alchemix has a great Priest deck, so we'll see who takes game 1.
Alright, here we go. Down at the bottom, we're going to be having Razor with that Druid deck. Whereas Alchemix up at the top with his Priest, and he's got a really nice opening hand. Holy crap, it's nice.
Yeah, it actually is looking really, really good, man. I mean, he'll be able to get that Blade Master out soon. He'll be able to do a lot of other stuff. See if it's going to be a first turn. Crazy Alchemist. Goodbye, Nat Pagel.
That's right.
One of the only first turn answers to Nat Pagel in the game.
That's right. But Nat Pagel already drew a card, so it doesn't even matter, as hilarious as that is.
It's so sad.
Well, you know what? We have Circle of Healing plus Injured Blade Master here, so we might be seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, unfortunately, with that Harvest Golem out, though,
yeah,
I would be considering doing this, and also probably coining out Power Word or whatever it's called, this Power Word Shield on my Alchemist. Maybe hitting, well, not hitting the Golem, but
it wouldn't be bad. I mean, the thing is you don't need to do damage early on with this deck. You need to control the board. So, I mean, if you can get rid of the Golem and its token in one turn, especially in a deck that you know is going to have a lot of buffing, it's not so bad. But he's going for a bigger board presence. There's the Injured Blade Master, and I think...
quite like it.
Yeah.
And I want to see that Power Word Shield personally on the Alchemist, because otherwise he just dies the next turn.
Exactly.
Which is never fun.
And what's it going to be? Yep, there we go. Okay. Good decisions by Alchemixt right off the bat, and Circle of Healing on top of it.
Look at how strong that board position is already. Sometimes you get a combo like this in a priest deck, and it's just ridiculous what it looks like.
Yeah.
And now Razor is looking at this and thinking, well, what do I do here?
I mean, do you keep her already? It's you could put out that Violet Teacher, right? For some reason, I couldn't read that for a second. Yeah, Violet Teacher. I mean, he could go for more board presence himself as well, but again, you know, Wrath not going to help him a whole lot. You don't necessarily want to use one of those silences this early from the Keeper of the Grove, so this is a tough turn. I mean, do you just go ahead and throw down another Golem and hope for the best?
Oh man,
well, a little bit risky.
I was pretty sure he was going to do this with the Keeper. The thing is, the value that's going to be coming out of the Priest is ridiculous. Like, for instance, he can just kill that Keeper now.
Yeah.
And that's... I mean, when that starts happening, you're dead, right? Like, this is not something you're going to come back from very easily.
Well, he can, and the thing is this turn, if he wants, he can put down Ascension Shield Master as well, so he can still maintain that ridiculous board presence.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the best bet. Yeah, just get that out there. We'll see what he decides.
Gotta agree with you on that. I think that playing the Ascension is actually a good play, because you don't need to have your Blade Master at 7 health this turn. You can definitely go ahead, just kill off the Keeper and let him be a little bit more hurt, because at 5 mana, what is Razor going to be able to do about it?
Right, exactly. I mean, Swipe isn't really concerned with everything over 5 health, and I mean, yeah, he could trade for the Keeper, and that would still not even put him within Swipe range, so yeah, he's in just amazing shape.
Yeah.
And it's even a Golden Tezdingo, what do you know?
It's...
Golden Tezdingo is actually the name of my punk rock band in high school.
Is that right?
That's right.
Well, I would love to find some recordings of that, Noah. Alright, so now...
Golden Tezdingo.
Looking at Razor's position here, like, I think you have to Wrath and run the Golem into this 3-5. He just doesn't have much going on for him. Nothing looks good.
That's right. I mean, that's the best way to say it, really, is nothing looks good. He really doesn't have any spectacular answers to anything. So yeah, he's going to Wrath. He's going to do that, grab the token. And there's another Golem at least. So a little bit of board presence. Takes out the Shield Master. And things are not good, but they could be worse. So Razor's position's starting to improve a little bit on that turn. But we'll see how things go.
Well, I would say they're probably not going to go too well, because Alchemixt just is going to get so much value out of this Blade Master over time. He's going to continue to kill minions. We might see like a Thought Steal from him this turn. That's a possibility.
That could be.
But I think I would prefer to see him kill off this token, heal up his Blade Master, and probably a Nat Pagel and a Power Word Shield, to be perfectly honest.
On the Nat Pagel?
I would actually keep it on the Blade Master just to make sure you can't kill him this turn, because as is, a Swipe or you know, anything like a Wrath would get him if he doesn't use this and heal.
And there you go, 2 more health, and he's going to be able to heal it up again.
It looks like he's going to go for exactly that play. It's just so fantastic. Look at, this is the real power of Priest that we're seeing right here. You get a start like this, and you just can't kill Injured Blade Master.
Well, that's kind of the intent of Priest all along, I feel like, is just making it very difficult for classes to kill their creatures, giving them so much healing and all that, and it's coming through big time for Alchemixt at the moment.
Well, Razor, every turn I'm like watching Razor sit there and look at his board, and I feel his pain, because it's really tough, man. What do you do here? Do you play a Druid of the Claw? Do you just... I mean,
you know,
he's got 6 mana. There's just not a good move.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the thing is the Druid of the Claw. You know, it's vulnerable, of course, because you know it's going to take at least 4 damage, so it'd be down to that, you know, 4/2 at that point. I mean, do you maybe put out Keeper of the Grove and silence somebody? I don't think that would help too much, because you've still got a really strong minion. I mean, it's...
I guess you could kill off the Nat Pagel with it, but then you're just going to lose another minion. So I'm not surprised that
Okay.
we're seeing this move.
I think this is probably the most solid. I mean, at the very least, it makes Alchemixt use cards from his hand to get rid of it. You know, he can't just clear it with the board this time.
Well, we'll see what he's going to do in just a second here. Of course, he has the ability to heal up some minions. I don't see any really good way to actually kill this other, this big guy. I mean, he could do something like swap its health and power with the Crazed Alchemist.
The funny thing is that he could still keep his Blade Master alive at least for one more turn by doing that.
I think that Razor would definitely find a way to kill it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, between Hero Power, the Golem, and his
get...
Keeper, he's going to kill that thing as soon as he can.
It's all about that value, though, you know? Because,
Yeah.
I mean, even though he will kill it, it'll still cost more cards, potentially, mana, potentially, so it doesn't really hurt the value to get rid of it that way, and you do get another creature on board, so...
Yeah,
I'd be
actually quite
thinking
like
about it. Yeah.
It would at least force some mana out of him too, and you
Yeah.
always know on turn 7 that a druid wants to cast Ancient of Lore. That's
Exactly.
That is turn 7 for druids. So I think that maybe swapping that, attacking into it, and healing up your Blade Master is pretty nice because that also probably saves your Nat Pagal.
Yeah, it's true. It takes the pressure off Nat Pagal, and it forces something out of the hand of Razor at least, because if you do that and heal it up, it still means that the Blade Master's at 3 health, so the Golem can't kill it by itself.
Well, we'll see in a second here. It looks like... Are we going to see it?
What will he do? The suspense? Yeah, it makes sense. I mean,
Really
just
good
looking at his hand, it's the best play he had. And yeah, like we talked about, the Blade Master still probably will die next turn, but it's going to require more cards played by Razor. Ooh, and the Pyromancer too. Yeah, just being kind of scary there.
And he draws off the Golden Nat Pagal. Rightfully so, I guess.
It draws a Holy Nova as well, which is huge at this point in the game.
Look at this for Razor. This is really tough because he has 2 Ancient Lores. He wants to cast Ancient Lore so bad, but doesn't he have to get rid of as much as he can on this board?
Yeah, he may want to. I mean, the thing is if he uses Savagery, which I don't really like a whole lot, and
yeah,
Keeper
I
of the
don't
Grove,
either.
it would probably give him his best board clear, because Keeper could kill somebody, Savagery could buff up him and his Golem so he could take out, you know, the Blade Master and that Pagal and one
That's
of the
true.
2/2s.
Yeah.
Like, he could do a lot of board clear with Creeper,
You know what?
Keeper plus Savage.
You're right. I think that's the best play.
Yeah.
He's going to have to do that. Like, he can just leave the Alchemist, for instance.
Exactly. It's not something anyone would really enjoy playing, but you kind of have to. You know, desperate times means desperate measures, right?
And you know what? He did a really good job with this. If you look at it, after all is said and done, let's look at the cards that they have. It's 2 cards on board against 1, and 4 cards in against 3. And the thing is, with 2 Ancient of Lores, that's okay. He's going to be able to draw up and get ahead of his opponent as far as card advantage goes. So that was actually a very good turn for Razor, despite the fact that it felt like Alchemix was in charge all game long.
Yeah, well, he was up until that point.
Yeah.
So what do you do as Alchemix? Let's see. I mean, he could Holy Nova and then use his 2/2 to kill the Keeper and just completely clear the board and play like a shield, injured Blade Master behind it. So he could do that. You know, he could Thought Steal this turn. It wouldn't really hurt because he has a lot of mana and not a ton to play, but we'll see.
Well, it looks like he wants to get another Blade Master out and heal him up, which is completely fine. The other move, I think, would have been an Auchenai and using the Auchenai hit as well as your little guy to kill off the 2/4, but I think this is a really strong play anyways.
Oh, the Force of Nature the turn after he uses Savagery, but we know he has 2 of them in the deck, so it's not that bad. Oh, and there's a Claw. That's actually... Oh, it's just...
not quite.
Yeah, not quite enough damage.
Actually,
yeah,
I would
he
do
could
this.
Hero Power. He could Hero Power and finish off the Blade Master.
Yeah, Innervate plus Hero Power plus Claw.
Yeah, he's going to do it.
This is a fantastic play. That was a really fantastic draw to be able to kill off this guy. It's
have a 5/5 on the board.
Yeah,
it's going to die to Shadow or Death, but hey, at least it brings another card out of his hand.
That's okay though, because he's going to have his Ancient of Lore the next turn as well. So things starting to look up for Razor.
Yeah, a little bit. He's starting to bring it back around, and I think this just shows the strength of his Druid deck, because we're not even seeing him do any of the token stuff that this deck is designed around doing.
Yeah.
He's just got regular, standard, strong Druid stuff.
If I am actually in Alchemist's shoes, I don't even know it's Token Druid yet. We've seen none of the cards that are only in Token Druids.
That's a good point.
You know, and of course, as soon as he sees the Violet Teacher, it's going to change his outlook.
Yeah.
But as of this moment, he's just thinking, wow, you haven't played a single Yeti this turn.
Well, I wonder if Alchemix might be thinking a little bit overbold, too, because he's seen the Savagery, and most Druids only run 1.
Yeah.
So he might kind of overreach later in the game because of that as well, too. We'll see.
Gotta agree with you on that, Doa. Now, of course, the other Ancient of Lore does come out.
Yeah.
No Shadow or Death anymore. That's obviously quite a nice play. And how does he want to end up dealing with this?
I mean, we'll see. He's got some good options for solid creatures to put down. None of them really deals with the 5/5 directly.
It looks like he's thinking of Auchenai and maybe a Circle of Healing. I don't like that. I mean, I could see Auchenai plus just ping the guy for 2 in case he attacks into you, but that's the card advantage that an Ancient of Lore gives is so crazy because he already drew 2 cards. So if you get to kill another card with him, you're happy.
Well, yeah, he's going to go ahead and take out the 5/5, get that off the board.
Oh wow, and he actually is going to go ahead and use that Circle of Healing combo. I gotta say, I'm not really a fan of using the Circle of Healing here. I get it, I understand, but still, that's like, ugh. It just leaves him so vulnerable with this Auchenai.
That's the thing I wonder if he's not worried about the combo anymore between Force of Nature and Savagery, because if you were worried about that coming out, I don't think you'd make a play like that. So I think we may already see a little bit of the effects of him not really knowing what deck this is. And on top of that, yeah, there's the Violet Teacher. He's going to get tokens out, and he's got that Power of the Wild to buff everything up. Great turn for Razor.
Looks like he
doesn't want to use it, but that's still okay.
Yeah,
board's fine.
I think it's fine to just leave those on there for now.
Yeah,
unfortunately for him, we're probably going to see a Holy Nova this next turn, so he will lose a couple of those little guys. But he would have lost those anyways, even if he went for Power of the Wild. And that's an Auchenai.
Interesting.
I mean, a Cabal. Cabal Shadow Priest, man, is such a powerful card.
Oh, those look crazy on gold board.
Yeah, the gold is so crazy. I've never seen it in gold, actually.
Me neither, yeah. Look at that.
Wow, that is just so sexy.
That's pretty awesome. He has a lot of gold cards, actually. I just noticed that.
This is the thing nowadays. All the pros have, like, completely gold sets.
Yeah.
Not me, though. Sad.
No, the thing is that it takes time to break down all those cards you're not going to play and buy gold ones and all that, and I just don't have that time,
Yeah. Alright, so he's going to go ahead, give all his minions that +1/+1. Of course, that makes another one as well.
He's going to double leader it.
Look at this, man. Token Druid is so scary.
And the thing is that the token comes out before the buff does, which is really good.
Yeah, it's really, really nice.
And, okay, so he's going to take out Blood Mage. Yeah, I think that's good, because the thing is, it's another, the Holy Nova would have cleared all the 3/3s, and he knows that, so.
Now, for here, of course, this is exactly what we're going to see. Look at this
perfect
turn 10 play. Azure Drake and Holy Nova.
Great 10 mana.
Gets rid of most of the board. Wow. This priest deck is really delivering this game.
It is. Now, this turn, do you go for the draw, or do you just Force of Nature? And I think Force of Nature is not a bad option, because you can take out the Drake, you can still get 8 damage done to the priest. Yeah.
I quite like it. I think this is just the perfect move.
I'll make it 9 with the Hero Power,
Well, he's fighting back still, but if we look at this hand for Alchemixt, I wouldn't even be scared as him. You can use the Holy Fire here.
Yeah, those 2 Holy Fires are pretty strong.
I would imagine we're going to see one of those.
Druid of the Claw, not quite as good, because the 6/3 can take it out, but if he Holy Fires it, that's fine.
Yeah, Druid of the Claw probably going to come out next turn. Of course, he's going to heal himself up and play this Northshire Cleric as well. Just kind of gaining some presence on the board here.
Ooh, the combo, but it's not really a good time to play it, unfortunately, for Razor.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice swipe, though. That's a good draw.
Definitely want to save that for now.
Yeah.
There's, the thing is, you have to burst priests down a lot of the time because they do have so much heal potential.
Yeah, totally.
If you just put that damage on, against some classes, it's great. You put damage on against Shaman or Rogue or something, they're not going to heal up, but he even has that Holy Fire in his hand.
Yeah, having that combo in hand for Razor, though, is going to make him feel a lot more comfortable. He'll know that he has a chance if he's able to get Alchemixt down far enough to use it. But another Holy Fire on the 4/4. And Alchemixt up to 28 health again, make it 30. Wow.
Yeah, he's all the way healed.
Priest
is pretty cool.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, he's still got a very strong hand. He's just kind of waiting for more stuff to be played so he can play his Cabal Shadow Priest. And, if the thing is too big, maybe the Druid of the Claw.
Well, Razor, may have run out of a little bit of steam here, too. Because there's not going to be a lot of big threats coming out at this point from Razor. As far as Druid goes, your keepers are some of your bigger creatures, Druid of the Claw as well, so it's...
In fact, as you say that, this is Token Druid, which means the biggest minions that they have are those Ancient of Lores. He's already used both of those. He's already used at least one Druid of the Claw, right? And then he's used both of his keepers. He's used one Azure Drake out of 2. He's used one Violet Teacher out of 2. He doesn't actually have much left in his deck as far as big minions go.
Yeah, he's kind of down to a lot of control spells at this point, and oh, this is rough because the thing is he can't even take out this blocking problem with Swipe. You know, it's too much health. He can't even use his hero power combined with that to do it.
No, this is...
It's a tough spot for Razor. Really tough spot.
It really is. I'm feeling kind of bad for him right here. Like...
Well, I mean, it happens. It's the thing is
you
need to get some sort of tempo going, you know, with this sort of token druid deck. And if that gets shut down, you're going to find yourself in this position, you know, every game where you're not going to have those threats that you would have normally in a standard druid deck.
I have something to say here. I think he needs to think about doing like a Force of Nature combo because now little does he know there's another Northshire Cleric in his opponent's hand. But if there's any damage on any minion. Like, even if he kills off this 4/6, if he uses the swipe for that and there's damage on that cleric, there's going to be so many cards drawn in the next turn that I feel like Alchemixt is going to get so far ahead that he can't lose.
Yeah, I mean, it's do or die time for Razor, and unfortunately I think he is going to have to use that combo. He's going to elect not to, but I think this is called being in denial.
Well,
he could draw, you know, he could draw another swipe. I don't think he's used a swipe in this game yet. So yeah, so he's still got that out there, so I could see it.
Yeah, okay.
He's still got some health to work with too, but it's a bit scary.
More and more taunts coming down, man. All these golden cards.
Out of range for the Savage Roar combo now. There's a second swipe though. That does help.
I mean, he can use both.
Yeah, he can, but
oh god, it's just nothing is enough damage here.
That's the thing is that there isn't any.
He could use swipe on the 4/6 and then use Force of Nature to kill off the Tazbingo and the Druid of the Claw.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's pretty good. The thing is that does leave a Northshire on it with 1 health missing, which means that it can draw a card next turn, which is obviously something he doesn't want to do. What else can he do here?
Well, he can actually use both swipes and his hero ability, one on Tazdingo, one on the Druid of the Claw, and then hero ability to finish off the Druid of the Claw, and that would leave, again, you know, a Northshire Cleric that needed healing, but he wouldn't have to use his Savage Roar at that point, at least. Or his Force of Nature, rather.
That's true.
If I were him, I'd rather use both my swipes before I use part of my combo.
Okay, you know what, that's fair enough. That makes sense. We'll see if that's what he ends up doing here. There's one, and there is the second one. Yeah, good call, Doa. And the one thing that really makes me scared for him is the fact that we're going to see that other Northshire Cleric draw. And that means that, well, he's...
Oh, jeez, you're right, yeah.
Oh, wow. And he's actually going to innovate out that Squire, which...
It's not going to help him, unfortunately. Yeah. Well, Savage Roar, I mean, he can buff it next turn, but it's...
I mean, he may as well. He already knows that this Cleric is going to be able to heal up this turn, so... And if the Cleric attacks into that Squire, then he's going to be able to kill the Cleric.
Shadow Word Pain, you know, I mean, he can get rid of that Squire anytime he wants.
I think he should heal here first, and then attack into it, and then Shadow Word Pain it, perhaps.
Yes, I think so, too.
See what he draws off. Not many cards left in the deck.
True Defender of Argus. Oh, this is just disgusting.
Oh, wait, of course, he has Cabal Shadow.
Oh, yeah, that's true,
too. I forgot all about that. But, yeah, now he... I mean, look, this is what happens if you don't lose board control. And
this deck, man, I don't know. This is pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy how the Priest is doing.
Yeah, another Argent Squire, that doesn't help.
No, it doesn't do very much for him at all, and this is such a full hand for Alchemixt. Like, a lot of power coming out of this Priest deck. You know what's really funny, though, because it is Priest, we're going down to the very last cards in the deck. Both players are almost decked right now. Isn't this just always the way with Priest?
This is Priest.
Yeah.
Yep. If you're going to play Priest, you're going to get used to very long games. And so there's the combo. I mean, nothing else to really do. Got to clear it.
He's got to. He's got to do something here, and at least he's going to stop any card draw for a bit.
Yep.
And leaving you just a couple 1/1s out. You can't even heal your 1/1, so I guess they're going to trade, right?
Yeah, I suppose. We'll see. Soul Priest Argus, if he wants to have the strong board, I guess. He could Tink Master just for fun.
I would actually definitely consider doing a Tink Master. Just
trying to get the 5/5
for the
defender.
Save it too, but yeah, you know, why not, right?
I mean, he really can't make a wrong move at this point in this game. Yeah, Shadow Word Pain, just get rid of the 1/1. Total board control.
This game is just about over here. Like, there's Razor's just drawn off the top of his deck.
It's way over.
Left.
Violet Teacher.
That's it, in fact. That's lethal next turn. That's 10 damage on board.
Definitely game, yeah.
Well, I guess it's not technically lethal because he can armor up, but you don't want to even waste your time.
But still, yeah, he knows he's got nothing in the deck that's going to be able to beat what's on the board right now, and then that is it. So, wow, Alchemixt Priest deck takes game 1.
All right, so pretty cool priest play there from
Yeah.
Alchemixt, and now it looks like Razor is going to bring out a mid-range hunter deck, not an all-in one.
Yeah, these are starting to gain a little bit of popularity. You can control the board pretty well with Hunter. They've got a lot of damage that they can put onto minions as well, instead of just onto players constantly. So you've got cool stuff like Explosive Shot, you've got Freezing Traps in here, which can really kind of mess people up, especially mess up aggro, honestly. If you Freezing Trap, some sort of aggro minion, you're probably never going to see it again that game, because the player's just going to be like, well, I'm just not going to get a chance to play this. Yeah, so
they're in a bad spot if they ever do replay it.
exactly. So. A few more beasts. He's got Houndmaster. So this is cool. Like, I've been messing around with a deck similar to this on the ladder, and it's very fun. It just feels very different to play for hunters, and we'll see how it works, because this kind of deck has kind of like come and gone in the meta in the past, and largely people have been like, well, mid-range hunter, control hunter, not as strong as some of the other classes that can do that style. So we'll see how it works out against this priest deck. It's an interesting matchup.
Yeah, I like the deck. It's a cool deck, a fun deck. The one that Razor had used against Masan, I believe, which it looked kind of like this, a little bit different. But I played around with that a little bit on the ladder, and it was kind of neat. One thing I do want to point out that I think people are really starting to figure out, and have been for a bit, Savannah Highmane is one of the best 6-drops in the whole game. This thing is, it's very much like a Fire Elemental. Not quite as good, but it's like similar. It's a 6/5 for 6 that has like not a great battle cry, but a great death rattle to it.
No battle cry, actually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a little bit different, but it gains you card advantage a lot of the time.
It does have a really good battle cry, and I mean or not battle cry. Not getting it. It does have a great death rattle. And in a hunter deck, having those beasts out there, 2 beasts is really, really important. In this particular case, I'd say you definitely pick that over like Karen Bloodhoof, which is similar in utility and the same in mana cost. But for hunter, you always want to go with Savannah Highmane.
I have to agree with you completely there. They really are similar in that way. So, anyways, I think it's a cool deck. I don't know that it has anything in particular in it that makes me think this is going to be a priest killer deck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, a lot of times, what you want against priests is very specifically the other type of druid, where it's like all those 4-attack minions like Yetis and stuff. But
I think the strength in this deck is that Hunter has more explosive direct damage. Things like Explosive Shot, things like Kill Command, these can potentially do 5 damage right off the bat. So that's something, he's going to give himself a way to deal with those big creatures that he couldn't deal with last game.
Okay, so let's go ahead, just jump into game number 2 and see if Razor can tie this up against this crazy priest deck of Alchemixt. Here we go, Doa, looking at these hands. Oh, we have a good combo already in Razor's hand.
Yep, that's right. And, obviously, you can't beat the Starving Buzzard, Unleash the Hound. It's like, well, Cleric, I've got a way to draw a ton of cards in a ridiculous fashion myself.
Indeed, and with that coin, he can do it even a little bit quicker if the board becomes quite full. Now we do see, it's a good hand actually for Alchemix as well. He has some removal in there. He has the Auchenai, which is really nice. And right now he's just kind of considering about this, the Pyromancer. Does he play the Pyromancer yet? Or does he save it so that he can, clear the board real quickly?
Okay, he's going to play it. And it's the alternative is playing nothing this turn. But you do have to worry a little bit, what kind of hunter deck is this? Is this a crazy aggro deck when he's running like Arcane Shot or something? Am I just going to lose the Pyromancer immediately for nothing? So I think it's the right play, but I'm sure he's a little bit worried here. Now, Razor doesn't really have the greatest turn at the moment. I mean, he can play Animal Companion, but there's a good chance that if he gets like the 2/4, the priest can attack into it and then draw right away. So it's still kind of dangerous to even go with that. I feel like you just use Hero Power this turn, but no, he's gonna.
It's either Hero Power or I could see him going Kill Command as well. But let's see what he gets out of this. The 4/4.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, there's nothing here that's really exciting for it to.
That's actually one of the best drops you could get too, because Shadow Word Pain's not going to be able to touch it. It's too early for any sort of other damage coming into it. So yeah, that one is really good. I mean,
just anything that has 4 attack is straight up pretty good against Priest.
Yeah. Basically, he wanted anything except for the 2/4. So he had a 2 out of 3 chance. If he had the 4/2, he could have taken out the Cleric immediately, and so not looking bad at all.
No, and now looking at this, what does Alchemix do this turn? Because his turn is actually really terrible now.
Yeah.
Like, he can attack in. It looks like he just wants to play his Blade Master. But
I think that wouldn't be bad. I mean, he's like, well, I can't heal it, but at the same time, you'd have to trade your 4/4 with my Blade Master to prevent me from doing something. So you always, if you can't do anything directly to your opponent. You always have to give them an unfavorable decision to make.
Yeah, well said. Right now Razor's wishing that he had another mana. He doesn't though, so this is the right play. Throw that kill command down, get rid of the really annoying Blade Master, and I would say probably attack one of these 2 minions.
I would be tempted to say attack to the face, honestly, because there's a chance that there's going to be another creature coming out next turn, and then he could get a good draw if you start everything Buzzard with Unleash the Hounds, and he could still get some good board clear, but this is the safer play. See, this is like safe play versus aggressive play, and I like being aggressive, but he chose the safe method, but it left him now with no board and no chance to use Unleash the Hounds.
That is true, but if you look at the amount of cards they have in hand, he definitely gained a lot of card advantage there.
That is true.
That was a 2-for-1 on that Nisha, and it slowed down the nice quick start of the Priest. So now I see this Priest deck and sitting there, well, it's got a lot of great removal, but that's about it. Not a lot of pressure going to be coming out of it.
Yeah, very true. So if you're Razor, do you just drop this Engine Shield Master?
Well, if you do, it just dies too.
It does just die, but I mean, it's something on the board. It's not a beast.
Yeah.
I think it's a good filler turn. Sometimes you have to have those turns, where you just need to do something that is probably not going to be the greatest, but it's better than just a hero power or something,
Well, unfortunately for him, Shadow of Pain comes out. Yeah, which means that this guy's still going to be at 5 health, and the beatdown begins off of Alchemy.
Yep, exactly. The Alchemy beatdown. Yeah, that was the name of my thrash metal band in junior high school.
You had a lot of different bands.
I was very busy. Yeah. Huh. That's an interesting choice to make.
Not the coolest cards, to be honest. Like the thing is, I don't think Priest really would care about the freezing trap that much. The Houndmaster is not something that's going to be useful until much later.
I kind of like the bow, honestly.
Bow or
freezing trap.
It's bow or freezing trap for sure.
Unfortunately, the bow kind of relies on the freezing trap, so that kind of is a pain to lose.
Yeah,
but
the bow doesn't even do that much.
Yeah.
Really. Like, I guess you can double swing with the bow, but that's 6 additional damage that you take to get rid of Akanai, so that's not even that good.
Well, yeah. Wouldn't want to use it on Akanai maybe, but I think the bow is the best choice and just pass the turn. Yeah.
Well, it's good to always have a bow anyways, even if you're not setting off secrets. Like, you can kill off another Alchemist. You can kill. There's plenty of stuff that you can kill off.
Well, it's a safe play. I mean, he knows that there's not going to be an ooze probably, so he's in good shape. Not life total wise, but it was okay to play the bow anyway. Oh, there's a secret. All right.
Well, you know what? That actually makes it so that he can clear up this Akanai. Coming forward.
Not too bad. Savannah Highmane, though, he's not going to play the secret at the moment. Okay, so
Savannah Highmane is just so awesome.
Is that Power Word Death in his hand, or is that Shadow Word Death, right?
It's
kind of blurry on our screen, so.
And it looks like he's going to draw a card as well. But definitely the Shadow Word Death is what he's going to want to do here, because then he can hero ability plus attack the other guy, and it's like just keeping everything off the board.
He can also Circle of Healing to kill the tokens right away, too.
Well, I think he'll just use hero ability and attack in.
I suppose that's right.
A little bit more efficient here, so... And that keeps him
at
at 5
health. I do not play
health,
Priest.
which keeps him out of range of this bow still.
Not out of range of Explosive Shot, though.
No, that is true.
Do you want to use it, though? Because that's AoE that's going to be wasted then.
It is.
I think you got to do it, man. I think you really need to get rid of that. It's not efficient, but...
How many times are you going to be attacked by this guy? He's doing 5 a turn, so
and
I think you do need to.
If you don't do it now, there's a good chance that you're not going to be able to do it later because you won't have, because you'll get healed up,
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't heal the Akanai because he switches everything, but...
Right. Oh, man. I'm so terrible at Priest. I never play Priest.
You never play Priest. I can vouch for this.
I'm just not a big fan of Priest, man. I don't know.
You are definitely an aggro player at heart, no question about that. Priest,
I am.
Probably my favorite class, though.
The only Priest deck I ever made was an aggro Angry Chicken deck.
That sounds terrible.
It was amazing. It was so good. Legendary in 5 games, no problem.
That was sick. Alright, so here we are in Night Juggler, not the greatest play here. Houndmaster obviously not any good. The Buzzard Unleash combo, no good here.
Yeah, the thing is against a Priest, it's going to be really tough to ever have a board to do that Unleash the Hounds combo. Like, I mean, I kind of, going back to, where he had Misha out and he had that opportunity with getting, possibly 3 creatures on his opponent's other side of the board, I think I would have taken the Unleash the Hounds opportunity there because you're just not going to get it against a Priest much otherwise. They're never going to have a lot of minions out.
He's hoping to find a situation where he can use it, but it's looking more and more like they're
When's that going to happen? Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens here. He's going to want to set off that trap probably. The thing is, you can always heal up with the Priest, and that's going to keep it out of that longbow range.
Yeah.
And oh my...
Here we go.
Shadow Priest. What a draw against a Pagel. What a draw.
Oh, dude. And yeah, better to attack first and activate the trap. You don't want to damage your precious Nat Pagel.
Look at what a good position he's in. He's
Yeah.
going to be able to heal that up, and he's going to steal Nat Pagel, which is it's just so ridiculous. Like,
Oh, this
the power that you have with this priest deck, if
would be
you control the early game, which doesn't always work out like we've seen, but
hurts so bad.
yeah.
Oh, Stampede and Kodo. I
Well,
mean, you
at
can do
least
something
I can
there.
kill
I
the
think this
Pagel.
is an Unleash turn, man. I think
You know what? You're right.
you have to do it. I think he's got a lot of cards in hand, but
he can either juggler plus do the Unleash combo for a bunch of knives,
ooh,
or
that would be cool too.
he could Houndmaster as well.
Yeah,
And actually, other than that, he can actually Stampede and Kodo as well. So,
he's slightly low health.
in fact,
so
that's what I would do. I would do Buzzard, Unleash, draw the cards, see what they are, and
Yep.
then probably the Kodo.
Yep, I would imagine.
But he doesn't have to Kodo. He may want to do the Beastmaster, or the
No,
Houndmaster rather,
you're
to
right.
get an extra damage on.
Yeah,
And that's
Okay.
not bad either.
yeah. See what he decides to pick. Kodo, I think, is definitely the best option. And what's it gonna be? Oh, he gets Pagel. All right.
Yeah. I think
Well,
here you use the weapon and a couple of hounds
Yeah.
to kill this guy off.
Oh, totally.
I mean, this was a very good turn for him, even though, you know, he is getting a little bit low on life and everything, but at least he's refilled his hand and he's got an okay board right now.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is the Buzzard's going to be like the first victim. We'll see if he decides to Holy Fire the Kodo, but if he doesn't, that's going to be a great target for Houndmaster next turn.
He's actually
he's
just
actually
going
just
for
gonna kill
phase.
him,
Well, this makes perfect sense. There's no way
Yeah.
that he's going to die, so why not? He can just...
Yep.
He has another Holy Fire in hand. This Hunter is dead next turn.
Yeah. It hurts bad. Priest OP.
Yeah, like, Hunter is one of those classes that just never gains life. You know,
Yeah.
like, you never see Earthen Rings in it. It has no natural life gain. You know, Shaman is very similar. Rogue is very similar, where, you know, if you get them low enough and you look in your hand, it's like, well, they have no way out of this. There's no way that they're going to stop this.
I feel like in a control-oriented game, too, it's just really easy to play around Hunter right now, because you just don't play a lot of creatures. You're like, alright, well, I know you've got Unleash, even if you're not playing super aggro, so I just won't play a lot of creatures, and because I'm playing control, I don't really need to, you know?
Well, that is Priest for you, right?
Yeah.
Priest generally never plays a lot of minions out. It's very controlling situational minions that you have, like the Injured Blade Master, like the
Yeah.
Arcanine Soul Priest,
Or
and like Cabal Shadow
you
Priest.
think about the popular warrior control decks that are out there right now, and it's the same thing. You're never going to really have more than like 2 creatures out on the board at the time. So it's just getting really easy to play around Hunter lately.
Well, looks like he's trying to get himself ready for anything that's going to happen here. Unfortunately for him, there is another Holy Fire in hand, and the
Yeah.
fact that he got Holy Fire to the face, I would imagine that he's looking at that and saying, "Oh, there might be a second Holy Fire in that hand."
Yeah, which in that case he just has to admit defeat. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he's like, well, do I Leroy here? Do I go ahead and do another Animal Companion for the draw and see what I get with 1 mana? Tracking first.
Yeah, and then I think
Yeah.
probably it's going to be Animal Companion. Oh, Kill Command is actually quite nice.
Yeah, that's actually really good. But he's not going to play it.
Okay,
Alright.
well, he gets a Huffer, which you can never really complain about that.
Nope.
And this is a lot of damage right to the face, so
Yeah, it is.
he might be feeling okay here, but he's
Not for long.
No.
He's dead. He just doesn't know it.
Dude, we're watching a Priest deck go up 2-0 right now on
We
the King
are.
of the Hill. I
Yeah.
just want to throw that out there.
And we should add it's against Druid and Hunter as well.
Wow.
Dude.
Well, there you have it. 2-0 so far for Alchemixt. Let's see what Razor's going to play in game number 3. Priest deck, 2-0, Doa. So
Pretty
out
insane.
comes a Shaman deck.
Yeah.
You know, Shaman, not a class that I generally think of as like a class specifically good against Priest, but it's not specifically bad against it either.
No, and I mean, he's got to get a lot of good utility against, you know, what the Priest deck is going to have. You know, Earth Shocks, Hexes, you know, things like that. So he's going to have ways to deal with the creatures very quickly. You know, but it doesn't really help him when it comes to just killing creatures. That's the thing. So
Yeah.
we'll see. I mean, out of the decks we've seen, I guess I would say initially the Druid deck would be the best against this Priest deck, but didn't work. So now I think this is going to be kind of the second best, right?
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Notably, no Wind Fury, just like the deck list name.
Indeed, only that Alakir with Wind Fury in the whole deck.
Yeah.
The one really interesting card in this deck that we see, everything else is like kind of normal. We see 1 Earth Elemental.
Yeah.
So just kind of a little tech card that Razor has in there. But
Yeah.
with 2 Shadow Word Deaths, that could be dangerous because whenever you play Earth Elemental, if it's dealt with the next turn, it's almost like a free loss at the
Yeah.
top level play.
It
'cause
hurts.
It slows you down so much to lose that with 3 Overload.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be an issue.
Yeah, Wild Pyromancer in there as well, too. overall pretty normal.
Yeah, nothing too fancy. So it's going to be a strong deck. I mean, Shaman is always a contender to win any game.
Yeah.
Especially now that Mage is not as good as it used to be.
I mean, if he's able to get the Unbound Elemental out there early on and then overload it up to 4 damage, that makes it safe against the Priest removal. So he's got some good opportunities there. We'll see what happens.
Alright, so let's go ahead, get in this game, and see if this Priest deck can continue this ridiculous rampage it's on.
Yep.
Down at the bottom once again is Razor, and his opening hand, not amazing, not terrible.
Yeah, it's not the greatest. I mean, if he doesn't have an opportunity to use those the Lightning Bolts and the Earth Shocks, it's going to hurt a bit. But luckily with Shaman, you can always play Totems, so
that's right.
That feels a bit good.
Well,
will the descent into Priest Hell continue for Razor here today?
Well, with coining out the injured Blade Master and using Circle of Healing, probably yes.
Yes, the answer is yes. Yeah.
The one thing you have to be scared about doing this is if they have Hex, they get way ahead right now.
Yeah.
If they don't have Hex, you get way ahead.
And he doesn't have Hex.
Alright, sick.
Yep.
Well, Razor may as well make another totem because nothing else really does anything.
I suppose. I mean, if you want to be really crazy, he could Flame Tongue and attack through and be like, alright, there, deal with that. Hit that instead of me, you know? So he could buy himself a little bit of health insurance that way, but...
I would rather live on uninsured than
there you go.
Let the Flame Tongue die too quickly. Because, you know what, maybe you get a couple minions out there that stick to the board and he doesn't attack them, and then suddenly your Flame Tongue totem comes in and helps do a lot of damage.
Yeah. And there we go, now a 4-9. So things not really getting any better for Razor. He can Earth Shock it, but that would only bring it down to 4-6.
Yeah, that's probably not very doable here.
Yep.
You know, I'm looking at this hand for Alchemixt. It's pretty darn good because it looks like he's going to control the game until pretty much later on with his hand.
Yeah.
And then with 2 Holy Fires and the ridiculous Cabal Shadow Priest, he's going to be in such control, it's going to be scary.
It's too bad that that heal came out on the Blade Master, the Power Word Shield, because if not, he could have actually dropped Thalnos and then done Earth Shock Lightning Bolt to kill a 4-7, but 4-9, that's not going to work.
Well, I mean, if he Earth Shocks first, it brings him down to 6.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, so
actually,
he still wouldn't, he wouldn't do 6 damage, though.
6 and then 5. Yeah, it would bring him down to 1 health. Wow. But you know what? He has this 1/1 totem, so there's like a possibility that this still happens.
Well, let's see. Earth Shock would do 3 after the silence, so it would bring him down to 4. So he could have killed it. He could have killed it with Thalnos and then 2 shocks, or Earth Shock Lightning Bolt. But
that actually, I think, would have been very good.
I think so.
Like, I know it's a lot of cards to spend.
You got to do it. Like, what else are you gonna do? Because you're gonna just you're gonna be beat on over and over again by this 4-9. Like.
Yeah.
And Earth Elemental next turn is not going to help him too much. So,
no,
I think he should have done that. But
I think Razor might have seen that at the end because he was thinking for a bit after Totem, and he might have been like, oh,
it's
crap.
It's an easy thing to miss because spell power is easily overlooked a lot of times. But, oh well.
Well, I would say Senjin here isn't a bad play. And
nope.
We'll see what he does with his injured Blade Master, though. Does he take out one of these totems? Because if he takes out that spell power one, then suddenly all the plans that we just made are gone.
I think he totally should take out the spell power totem, because you just do not want to allow Shaman to have spell power on the board. You know, the thing is, he's not in any hurry to kill Razor. You know, he doesn't really need to do that. There's Gadgets and Auctioneer.
Dude, this is bad. Like,
really bad.
That plan, if he had done that, this whole game would look different. If he had taken out Blade Master. But right now, Razor, what does Razor do from here? He has no way to take it out, and he plays the Earth Elemental. He better hope to God that this doesn't get squirreled.
I know, it's not good. And the thing is there's so much stuff Priest is going to have to deal with it. Tinker Master is just one of many ways.
This game's over.
Yep.
It's over.
That's
it. Like, seriously, first off, he needed to get rid of the Blade Master, like we were talking about. That was his one opportunity to do that. He didn't take it, and then to play the Earth Ellie in such a desperate situation and just have it tinked into a squirrel, that's game ending.
Yep.
There's no way around that.
Yeah. Poor Razor.
He's at 3 mana. There's like, what do you do? Make a totem and pass?
Well, you know what he could do is he could put down his totem and he could Lightning Bolt and then attack into it with his other totem and at least kill the Shield Master. and it's a horrible thing to have to do on your turn, but
I would
it's
do
something.
that.
It's something.
Yeah, the Thalnos at least will cycle when he kills it the next turn, so that's not...
Yeah.
Well, actually,
you don't
get
play
stolen by Cabal.
Yeah, you don't play Thalnos here. You just play Flame Tongue and then Lightning Bolt, and then you would attack through with your other totem. Yeah.
I actually like the Thalnos a little bit better.
Yeah?
Because Flame Tongue, like, I don't know, I like to save that so you have a lot of minions on board if possible. He only has one in the deck, so it's kind of valuable.
That's true, but I mean, he's kind of fishing for good cards too.
Yeah.
And the thing is with probably a Gadgets and Auctioneer next turn for more fishing, he wants to draw as much as possible. So, oh no!
Yeah, that's...
Oh, the humanity!
That's so powerful. God,
yeah.
Cabal Shadow Priest is so crazy. At this point, I think Razor's looking at this saying, am I getting 3-0'd by a Priest deck? And yes, Razor, I'm sorry, but you are indeed.
Even Lightning Storm doesn't really help him that much now because Thalnos is on the other side.
At least this is an okay play, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, he gets a 6/5 on the board.
Unfortunately, he's just going to
die immediately. Yeah. I mean, at this point in the game, you're playing things and you're like, all right, I know this is going to die because he's got Holy Fire, he's got Shadow Word Death. You know, it's yeah.
Oh, he has to Holy Fire it. There's like, this is just too good a situation for him.
Of course. I mean, you just Holy Fire and then you attack through for 9. I mean, yeah, you don't get the heal off of it, so it's not as efficient, quote unquote. But
well, you know, technically, like he could do something a little bit greedy, like attack it with Thalnos plus a Blade Master, then heal up, drawing a card with Northshire. But I don't like it. I think you Holy Fire because he's using all his mana every turn to play one big guy, and you know that that's what Shaman does in the late game. So you just keep on Holy Firing until you win.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It hurts. Hurts bad.
Yeah. Real bad.
So at this point, I mean, yeah, you can go like Gadgets and Auctioneer into Lightning Storm, or you could do like Gadgets and Auctioneer, Rockbiter Weapon, Earth Shock, and like do a lot of stuff. But I think you just gotta concede,
and that's the best move for Razor here, unfortunately. Alchemixt up 3-0 with the Priest deck. Okay, so that was a pretty big misplay where he could have had the double spell power, which in and of itself that was a little bit lucky, so maybe he just missed it, that he had the possibility of 2 spell power and playing 2 spells to get rid of this Blade Master. But it's okay to use 2 spells. It's like, for instance, when someone innervates out a Yeti, if you can use 2 cards to get rid of the Yeti, you do it.
It's so worth it.
It sucks because for mana efficiency they went out. Just like in this case, the mana efficiency would have really went out for Alchemixt, but he healed him up with a Circle of Healing anyway, so that's already 2 cards invested.
Yeah, that was. I mean, it was a big play, and I mean, it's inefficient, it's unorthodox to think about making that play, and that it makes it easy to miss. But you know, when you're playing for the King of the Hill and you're playing at the top level, you have to get a bit unorthodox sometimes. You have to be willing to be inefficient to get that advantage that you need on the board at least. So. It's tough, man. That's a tough loss for Razor, and it puts him 1 game away from being 4-0'd by a Priest, which I don't think we definitely have never seen before, and we probably will never see again. But I don't know, maybe
Priest is coming back, but
maybe Priest is a secret OP deck, and Alchemists have just figured it out, man. I mean, he really is the alchemist of Alchemists. He has turned lead into gold with this Priest deck, for sure.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
But to be fair, he's gotten the God draws. Like, when you get to point out an injured Blade Master and use Circle of Healing, it's one of the most powerful turn 2 plays in the entire game. So he's getting really good draws, but he's playing it very well, and we are seeing at least some mistakes from Razor.
To be fair, the thing is, too, is that Razor has played mostly slower decks, so it doesn't really take advantage of the weakness of the Priest deck, which is that early game. You know, I mean, yeah, he's been getting good draws too, but I feel like Razor, you know, maybe there's other decks out there that would be better matchups against this Priest deck, and we're just not seeing them for Razor. And it's another, you know, slower deck coming out of Razor this time. It's a Control Warrior, which is always very good, very strong, very consistent, but it does leave the Priest room in the early game yet again.
Well, okay, so that's very true because this is a very slow deck early on, and it's a deck that kills much later game with these big threats. I would say in this situation, I would give the heads up to Priest because first off, this game is going to go on forever. There's no question. They can't kill each other early on. It would have to be like just a perfect storm of a great draw for one guy and a bad draw for the other to kill early. And if you look at it, it's all really big badasses for the Warrior deck. And the thing is, if you look at the mana efficiency there versus the Priest deck, we're going to see Holy Fires taking out some of these minions. We're going to see Shadow Word Deaths taking out some. We're going to see, Crazy Alchemist ruining his day a little bit. And of course we have that mind control, which can just mess up everything. You mind control a Gromash, it's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that mind control sitting on the deck list all day, and I think this is probably the game that if we see it, it's gonna be this one.
Yeah, so
yeah,
we'll see how it goes, but I'm liking the Priest a little bit.
He's running a Nixia.
Yeah, this has been popping up just a little bit, and there's a couple of reasons for it. First off, Onyxia in a Warrior deck. Warrior is one of these classes very much like Priest. These are the two classes that don't rely on too much board presence in the endgame. A lot of other classes, they need to control that board. They need to have taunts up, things like that. But these two decks are the two decks that really can gain life, whether through healing as Priest or through armoring up as Warrior.
You know what?
The Onyxia just kind of fills your board at the end of the game.
I really like that. And the thing is, he's replaced Ysera with that. Yeah. That's usually the dragon that occupies that other 9 slot in this deck. And now that I look at this, I like Onyxia because Ysera oftentimes when she comes out in the late game, she gets hexed, she gets silenced. She doesn't really generally do more than draw you 1 card in most games.
And it's always a laughing sister.
And exactly. It's always that, or it's always like Nightmare where you send them back their hand or something like that. Or no, Nightmare's a 5/5. You know what I'm talking about. But and I've always hated Ysera. I've hated in that deck. I'm like, yeah, it's got the potential to be good, but it's usually not. So I really like this Onyxia. This is cool.
Yeah, it's kind of a neat card to have in there. And one of the most hilarious things, if you just happen to have Whirlwind and Frothing Berserk with Onyxia.
Seriously, yeah.
That's a lot of damage. I've never
yeah.
seen it, but I've always thought, ooh, that would be kind of neat.
It's a really good way to bring that Frothing Berserker back in the late game if you draw him late too, because if you draw him late in a lot of other games with Control Warrior, he doesn't tend to do a whole lot.
Yeah, he normally turns into like a 4/4 that gets removed, and it's like, not that big a deal.
This is cool. I like this deck. I hope we get to see Onyxia. We'll see. I mean, this Priest is looking terrifying, but I've got a good feeling about the Warrior.
I think we are going to see Onyxia, because again, I'm telling you, this game probably is never going to end.
That's true.
Warrior versus Priest is a long match.
We better get started. This one's going to be
okay.
It's going to be a long one.
Let's go ahead and see, can Razor win a game against this Priest deck? All right, let's see if Razor can do it. Starts out with an okay hand.
No, it's the Cleric on turn 1. But the thing is against a Warrior that's not as good because you're worried about the axe and he doesn't play it.
Yeah, it's better to play it turn 2 with its Power Word Shield.
I agree. Yes.
It's just like that extra.
Especially against Warrior.
Yeah, because who doesn't start with Fireworks? Well, Razor doesn't this time, but
on
the
ladder,
thing is, everybody.
I think there's like unwritten rules in Hearthstone that like Druids always have to start with Wrath and Warriors always have to start with Fiery War Axe most games, and yeah, that's generally what happens. So, do you toss down the Armor Smith? I don't think so.
No, because then he's just going to start drawing cards. It's really not quite worth it. Even the Frothing was something you could consider, but it looks like he wants to save for the Yeti.
Yeah. Well, I mean, armoring up is never a bad thing in Control Warrior. I mean, you're going to need that high armor later on for your shield slams and stuff, and we'll see what it's going to be. Coin, and there's the Yeti.
Alright, so the Yeti definitely going to be a little bit helpful here. That Cleric doesn't do a whole lot against him.
Yep, and it's got 4 attacks, so that means it's not vulnerable to Shadow Word Death or Shadow Word Pain.
And for Alchemixt, I mean, yeah, he's got the Defender. It's the only real play that he has here, I guess. He could play his Akanai, but do you really want to play your Akanai here? You might just lose it right away.
Yeah.
And if you play the Akanai, and like, for instance, we can see in Razor's hand, the Akanai would be most likely taken out immediately.
I think so, yeah.
I think... thing is,
Defender
none of these plays are very good.
Yeah, Defender is a really interesting play, actually.
A 2/6.
Yeah, because it puts it 2 away from the Yeti, so it makes the Priest trade at least, well, not really necessarily trade, but it requires 2 cards worth of activity to kill it.
Well, you could use the Taskmaster on the Yeti.
Razor has a good answer for this. I love the idea of like playing an Armor Smith and then Taskmastering onto the Yeti. You get a lot of armor out of that.
You gain like 3 armor, kill a minion, and still have reasonable health left on one. And of course, that'll set up for Shadow Word Death, which we see 2 of.
It will, but it's also 3 mana that Alchemixt won't get to spend on something else next turn.
To be perfectly honest, I think that that's really good because I want him to use those on Yetis.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, if you use that on Yeti instead of a dragon later, that's amazing.
Exactly. So I think that's really good, and it looks like that's exactly what he's going to go for. But actually, I think we might see the Argus run into it. But the Argus is also useful in killing some other minions. Yeah. Especially since you have heal.
That is true.
Like I think actually a Shadow Word Death on that, attack the 2/2 minion, heal up is okay.
Yeah, it wouldn't be bad. It would give, Razor a lot of armor, but there's really no avoiding that at this point. You kind of have to accept that you're going to have to burn through some armor when you're playing against Warrior.
Yeah, and I don't think he really cares about it anyways because the game should go so long. So it looks like we're going to see that. And the other thing that I'm a little bit afraid for Razor, we have a Cabal Shadow Priest in hand right now. He's going to steal probably the Armor Smith.
Yeah, wouldn't be bad at all. And what do you do here? Do you... Ooh, he could. Well, alright, that'd be a little bit bold, but...
Armor Smith Frothing attack into the 2/3. Like, you could do something like that.
That wouldn't be bad. I'd kind of like that, because
Makes
that
it
would
a 4/4.
give... Exactly, that would give the Frothing 4 attack, which would make it fairly safe. And then you could set up a pretty good turn later. I mean, that's always the question, right? With these warrior control decks, you have the ability to play aggro in the mid game. You know, do you do it?
Yeah. Well, I think you have to put on some sort of pressure. Here.
Yeah.
Like you need to.
Yeah.
Will he attack into it? Yeah. It looks like that's exactly the move he's gonna make. But this isn't too hard for him to clean up. You know?
Well, the thing is that now the defender can just kill off the 1/2, buff the Frothing Berserker enough to put it in Shadow or Death range. So. It's still a little bit dangerous.
And in
Does
fact,
he have death? Yeah, he just
he has death.
No, that's pain, but he has death.
He has both of them.
Yeah.
Is he gonna? He's thinking of playing Akanai. I actually.
You could steal the Armor Smith this turn too, but
You know what? This is an okay play, I think,
Yeah.
because he just kills the Frothing straight up. He saves that extra power of death, which you know there's gonna be a bunch of big guys in. And this sets up him still to steal a nice big Armor Smith.
Yeah.
A nice healthy one next turn. He can.
Yeah.
That's,
Okay.
That's nice.
Works for me. Fiery War Axe, so he could do some damage to that. Because you could. Here's. All right. That's
I think
one
Yeti's
turn.
good.
All right.
Yeti, and I would play the axe just to have it out there. You know
Yeah.
he doesn't have any oozes, may as well.
Yeah.
And it looks like, he actually is going to go ahead and sacrifice into it.
I was actually thinking you would Whirlwind, get 2 more armor, then trade into it with the axe. You know, so you could get. He could be at 12 armor instead. He wouldn't have the Yeti, but. Yeah.
Well, I think
2
he
more
doesn't
armor
care about
isn't
gaining.
worth it.
Yeah.
And he'd use the Whirlwind out of his hand as well.
Save that whirlwind for maybe your acolytes.
It's
later.
dangerous when you play this deck. You get a bit too combo crazy sometimes.
That is true. Now he's going to skip playing that Cabal Shadow Priest. Unfortunately for him, there's just nothing to do.
Oh, he took a Nixia. That's
he took
nice.
a Nixia, but he also took a shield block or a shield slam. Sorry,
Yeah.
That's pretty terrible. Right?
I think getting a Nixie is going to help you get over the sadness of taking the shield block.
Indeed.
But he's just going to steal the Armor Smith anyway. Oh no, he's not. Oh, that's too bad. He could have stolen it, at least gotten 1 armor. It's like, there, I can use it now.
Well.
Oh well.
Actually, it wouldn't have been that bad of a play anyways, just to get him out there. But
it'd be kind of funny, but not ideal.
All right, so for Razor, do you play Acolyte now? He's going to skip that for now. Go ahead and just attack. And I like skipping the Acolyte for now. Save it until you want to play Whirlwind for another reason.
Yep.
And then play it, because there's no rush.
I agree. I think that's fine. He's got 17 armor right now.
It's pretty
ridiculous.
crazy.
Yeah.
So that's
We know a Nixie is coming for the priest.
46 health for this warrior. It's just so crazy, man.
I didn't think when I came over to Cassis today that I'd be seeing a priest like sitting there with a Nixie in his hand, up 3-0.
Yeah.
This has been a weird day.
A little bit wild.
Yeah.
So he's going to go ahead and play his Blade Master. The thing is, this absolutely can be taken out without too much problem.
Yep. Funny thing is that like he gets the 4/5, but it's less mana efficient than a Chillwind Yeti. Because it costs more to heal it up to get it to that.
That's true. But he's going to have to attack into it with his axe as well, which, I mean, I guess it's a dent into the armor. And bringing the Yeti down to 1 means it's a little bit easier for him to kill, especially with his Holy Novas. Which, by the way, we haven't seen much of in this series.
Yeah, that is true.
Alright, so, you know, they both have a Nixia. That's going to be, like, really quite hilarious.
Yeah.
In fact, I think we're going to see a Nixia next turn for sure, right?
Yeah. Stop dots. Many dots, add dots.
Yeah. Alright, here we go.
Oh, that's right, you never played WoW, so it's okay.
No, sorry, I'm like, well, I mean,
sometimes
it makes a bunch of little minions. Maybe you're talking about those as dots. I don't know.
Sometimes I make WoW jokes, and Artosis has no experience with that. I'll play the video for you later. It's funny. It's funny to anybody.
Thanks.
I promise.
Oh, look at this. This plus, I like this. He actually uses this spell that's completely worthless for
Yeah,
him to kill the
Shield
Yeti. That's a sick move.
Oh, that's great.
All right. Well, you know, it's his. Here's the one funny thing. With this guy out, suddenly Onyxia doesn't look like as good a play.
Yeah.
Because then it's just like a really expensive 8/8.
Hey, but Grommash with Whirlwind, that does not look too bad. Could get some damage onto him, could be aggressive.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But you know what? If he does that and it gets mind controlled, he's going to feel like a fool.
That's true, but
looks like that's what we're going to see.
The thing is nobody plays mind control these days. So it's like,
well,
you never
this guy
know.
plays one. Watch this. This is going to be hilarious. He's waiting for it.
Oh,
Oh my god, he doesn't want to mind control it.
Okay, well, Huh. Okay, because I think that's okay. Because
He
the
wants
thing
to
is,
save something a little bit beefier, I guess.
exactly. He's got a Nixia coming out. He's got strong stuff, and the thing is he can always mind control a different dragon later. So
That's true.
I think
don't
that's
know.
fine. Because the thing is you don't want to take it and then get it executed right away. Whereas you could take a dragon that has no damage on it at all, and then not have to worry about that. So I like that play.
All right, so we're gonna
Play
see
Nixia versus Nixia. Come on. Oh, it's so sad.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
well. So he makes it a 5/5, and he's
Yeah.
gonna go ahead and Holy Nova off of that as well.
Yeah.
All right, so I mean
You
that
missed the
Nixia-
opportunity for the greatest board in the history of Hearthstone. Oh well.
Now there's a Tink gone, and there's both Shadow or Deaths gone. So already Razor has to be feeling a bit better about this game. He's still got a very high life total. He's got plenty of time to draw on some more kill spells.
Yeah. 13 armor still. Doing fine. Huh. All right.
Well,
Let's
I
see.
mean-
The thing is he wants the big draws at this point, but just does not have it.
yeah, I think this is good play. Though. Just play the Pagel, save
Yeah.
everything else in your hand. You just gotta be careful about when he plays everything.
Yeah. I know he's got a lot of cards in hand, but he could have done a bit of a combo with Acolyte, but just to get some more draw.
Yeah,
And he's
got to
kinda-
be careful though. I think he expects there to be a Cabal Shadow Priest in his opponent's
Yeah.
hand, so he's really being careful about when he plays this Acolyte.
Yeah.
But there you
There it
go.
is.
The Cabal
Yeah.
steals the Nat, which sucks as well.
I mean, the thing is he's at this point where the priest has all the good stuff they need to really mess up your late game, and now we're in the late game, you know? So this is a scary place for control decks to be in control versus control when one person's a priest.
Yeah, this. I think you probably hit this 4/5 with your 5/1, but the thing is, you don't have a good way to get rid of Nat, which
Yeah.
sucks. At least he's waited for both Acolytes.
Okay, so he's got. Well, he could still do Whirlwind Cruel Taskmaster and draw some cards. I mean, he could do stuff.
2, 3,
Yeah.
4. I'm not sure
Whirlwind.
what the.
There's Alchemixt, so that's kind of nice.
Okay.
Do you? I don't know. All right, draw another one.
I like this
Sure,
as well.
why
This
not?
is good because he's going to be able to probably kill this Nat next turn. He gets to draw another card off of it. All these cards that he's playing, not very useful at this stage of the game. So
Yeah,
to
totally.
kind of cycle
Oh no,
through them is great.
he drew a Holy Nova.
Well,
On
that's
his
a
turn.
good draw, isn't it?
It gives Razor 2 more cards.
That is true. That is true.
That's actually not as bad as I initially thought
But
it was.
he's going to get 2 more cards no matter what.
Yeah, that is
Like,
true. You might
there's
as well
no
do it
other way
now.
to get rid of this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just let him have it now. Keep your Nat Peg alive. Why
Yeah.
not?
Heals him that peg a little bit.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, Razor has a lot of finishers in hand, doesn't he?
I bet he's wishing that cleave was a slam right now. Oh, there's Shield Slam at least. So I don't know. Maybe Shield Slam Peggle, drop Ragnaros. You know, I mean,
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
you
I
know,
don't
mind
know if
control's
I
out
would...
there, but you got to deal with it. Alex Strauss is not a bad turn.
Okay, he's going pretty aggro with this then.
Yeah.
Because, looking at this, by dealing that damage, he has Rag and he has Gorehowl, and that's like 15 damage sitting in his hand,
Right.
plus the 8/8 on board. So, like, for instance, if he doesn't remove this, he's dead. But the mind control does come out.
Yep. And luckily for Razor, that's the only mind control. And luckily also for Razor, he can Shield Slam it, so that's not too bad.
He has an execute too,
Yeah.
with a cleave, so that's definitely a possibility here.
Ooh, yeah, I kind of like the cleave actually.
Because if he plays Frothing then Cleave, then he has
Yeah.
a 4/4 on board, and he does an execute, and it's pretty good.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah.
And he can actually kill both minions, so this is actually really, really nice.
He's actually going to end up with a
Yeah.
5 attack Frothing,
Which is,
but
that's fine though, because both Shadow or Death's already gone.
exactly. So no problem there.
He wants to make it as big as possible, really. And
Yep.
look at that health on him.
Ooh, Razor. Razor's looking not bad at all this game.
Yeah, but
How
still.
does Alchemix turn this one around? Does that involve Onyxia?
Well, I would say for sure he has to Holy Fire this guy, right?
yeah, definitely.
He can't mess around with that.
Oh, of course, yeah. And that'll give him 5 health. So that's a
And heal
bit of a
from two
big
as
comeback
well.
anyway. Yeah.
But still, Razor's got a lot of health he's got to get rid of, man. Look at the sizes of the decks. I was saying before, these games always go really long.
Yeah.
Warrior versus Priest oftentimes is going to go down to the last cards in each deck.
Razor's going to deck himself earlier than Alchemix will in this particular game.
Yeah, it looks like that. In fact, Alchemix
Yeah,
may want to be very
Ragnaros.
careful about how many cards he does end up drawing.
Uh-huh. I agree.
All right, so
Yeah, might as well attack through. I mean, there's not
he has a
gonna
Gorehowl in
be...
hand. It makes
Exactly,
sense.
yeah. You're going to be playing that next turn anyway, probably, so that's fine.
In fact,
Ooh.
next turn he has possible lethal.
Yeah, quite
8
possible.
plus 7 is more than 11.
If there wasn't a Holy Fire in Alchemix's
Yeah.
hand, that's definitely true.
But how does he get rid of this as well?
Ooh. Is it
he's going to give it a million targets.
Yes.
That's how.
That's not a bad idea.
And for sure give the Nixia that little bit of extra health, I would say.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Oh, not that one. Okay, he's actually going to give it... Oh, that's to make sure they at least one lives through a whirlwind. This is a statistics play right here.
Yep.
But he's got that shield slam, which for sure should go for a Nixia, I would say.
Yeah. And you don't want to brawl here, definitely not.
No.
Yeah,
Definitely not. Definitely not. But you know
Many
those
whelps,
1-1s,
handle it.
Those 1-1s will suck up rag hits all day and night.
Oh yeah.
Alright, so good shield slam there for 17 damage.
For sure, yeah.
I think you definitely play Gorehowl here as
Yeah.
well. And you
Toss
take out
out
that
Gorehowl.
1-3 and
Armor up.
armor up.
Yeah. There you go. We're on the same page.
Yeah, it's going to take a while to clear all these little whelps out, but...
Yeah.
You know, what is he? Might be... Is he thinking about saving that for damage?
I think he should... the thing is it doesn't matter this turn. Like, he's still going to have enough if Ragnaros hits Alchemix next turn.
He wants this rag hit to go to the face.
Even if Alchemix heals himself with his hero ability. Oh, it did. Oh my
god.
Good thing there's a Holy Fire.
That's true. 5 plus 4, that's definitely enough to kill Rag off. So that's...
Razor's got to be like sweating right now. He's like, oh, it hit him. It actually hit him. I've got a chance.
Yeah. Well, he's going to
Holy
heal
Fire.
himself up, so he's not dead yet. He's going to be able to go up to 10, whereas there's only 6 damage that we can see at the moment.
Yeah. And goodbye, Ragnaros. Ragnaros killed by whelps.
Yeah.
These things happen.
Sad day. He's going to want to heal himself, maybe? No. Oh, he's going to play this taunt. That makes a lot of sense as well, because
of course.
That's worth more than the 2 health that a heal would be.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Oh, whoa. Okay, he actually is going to heal himself, but just wants another minion out.
Yeah.
So this is pretty dangerously low.
Yeah, the thing is no warrior decks run Mortal Strike or anything. Well, my controlled warrior deck runs a Mortal Strike, but most people don't.
Most do not.
Exactly. I think it's actually really good, but that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in fact, looking at this hand, there's like, all I would do is just attack with the Gorehowl.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't think I would even do that. Well, actually, I would. I might think about doing that, and he's saving the Gorehowl.
Yeah, the thing is like his shield slam is still valid even if he takes damage this turn. His slam is going to be more useful for a draw later.
The thing is, he's getting really low on his deck as well, so I'm a little bit nervous about that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens.
And he it looks like he's going to heal, and then he might even Circle of Healing this, possibly to draw another card.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and, well, he might get decked now.
I know. This game. Oh, we knew it was going to go down to the wire, but this is pretty cool.
Yeah, they're both really low on cards, but...
If Razor gets poked to death by whelps after being way over 30 health, it's going to be very sad.
There's just that one whelp left.
He's
we'll
got
see.
shield block. No, he's going to draw! Yes, dude,
that's all his
Defender of
cards?
Argus. Yeah. Oh, man.
Wait a minute.
Oh, no.
This is not an easy situation.
This is actually happening.
Okay, he needs to shield slam this 4/7. Wait, how much? Yeah, his Gorehowl only has 6 attacks, so he actually needs to shield slam it. Okay, a brawl.
I think Brawl's fine.
That's actually, that is the better play.
Yep. And, ooh.
And he may as well shield, I mean...
Yep. Yeah, do it, man. Just,
I think you need to, and you need to armor up. Why didn't he armor up? That was a huge mistake. He's on his fatigue deck. He has to armor up here. He has 2 mana.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think he's
that
just
was a
freaking
big
out,
mistake.
man. This is just a weird situation for anybody to be in.
If he wins here, it might be through just armoring up a lot.
Well, the thing is I feel like as Razor, you need to get creatures out on the board too. But Razor's dead. There's actually no way he can win this because he's got no creatures in his hand and no damage on the table that will ever be able to beat what Alchemix has on the board. So it's over. Alchemix actually will 4-0.
I mean, he's got to get a 5/5.
Those creatures are never going to survive past whatever Alchemist has in his hand. I'm telling you, it's over. I'm sorry, Razor.
Wait, I want to give him just... I mean, he needs to win through fatigue is what it is. He needs a priest to beat fatigue, but there's still 2 or 3 cards left in his deck.
Oh, I love our overlay, but right now I can't see how much damage is on Gorehowl.
Gorehowl
He's attacked once, so it's 6. It's not
5.
enough.
It's 5 now.
Yeah, it's not enough. Either way, it's not enough. And the thing is, play Soul Priest, start pinging things.
Yeah.
Those 2 creatures are it. It's so over. I'm sorry, Razor, but
yeah, it's not.
you will be
good,
poked to
really.
death by tiny minions and hero powers.
Yeah, he needs a hero power every turn for sure.
It's so sad. I feel so sad. He could actually just Soul Priest and Circle of Healing. And that would do damage to him.
I think I would Soul Priest and just kill off the 2/2 with it.
Yeah.
But actually healing yourself is not bad either, because you
Yeah.
literally can just count how much damage he has, and as long as
True.
you aren't decked, you're fine. Like, you never play this at Pagel, obviously.
Yep, there
And
it
actually,
is.
you will just kill that off.
Yeah, because with no creatures on the board and not enough damage from the weapon, Razor has absolutely no way to win this game.
But how many cards are left in the deck of his opponent? Because armoring up every turn.
2. Ooh, nice. Well, the
mean-
thing is fatigue is gonna do more damage every single time
Yeah,
he draws, and that's
but he's
gonna.
got 3 times the health of his opponent.
That's true.
So this is one of the reasons why I was like, you need to attack every turn with this.
Yeah, no, you're right. This is so weird. Mathematically.
Well, let's see what he draws, because it could be something as
yeah.
simple as he just draws something big, and that's it.
Yeah.
So I can't even remember what's left in his deck.
You can't play Nat Pagel. There's the Shield
Ascension.
Master.
And
Oh, that's
actually,
huge. Yeah.
How much attack does he have? He has less than 5 on that thing. I think he has 4, which makes this the actual GG.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, losing those creatures, it's really crazy, but yeah, that's it.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's it.
Jeez.
4-0 for Priest.
What? What was that? That was amazing.
Oh my god, Priest going 4-0 right there.
Yeah, that
really down
was-
to the wire.
That
and
was
the last
not what I
game,
expected.
But
Yeah.
pretty one-sided series overall. I do have to say there were definitely a couple misplays by Razor
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
And maybe he's not too comfortable playing against this Priest deck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone in the world is comfortable playing against, a good, legit good priest deck. There's just so few of them out there, and Alchemixt, man, he's kind of, despite a few misplays here and there from Razor, he has shown us a very solid priest deck, and the fact that he's very, very good at playing it. So, our new King of the Hill, Alchemixt, and what a way to kind of like take the throne, I mean.
Yeah, it
That's
really,
crazy. Yeah.
it was cool play. It was a cool deck. It was a pleasure to actually get to see this deck really shine against every deck that Razor had. So it's too bad, Razor, he was a good king. Couple wins.
He was.
Really legit. But now Alchemixt, we'll have to see if he can keep this going forward next week.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, that was a fun match. Thanks for watching, guys. Definitely check out iHearthU for all this other stuff that we've got there. Lots of articles, things like that. Turn 2 will be back in the future. We promise.
Yes. So just a little bit busy this week. Various things
yeah.
that we can't really talk about yet. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.